The library
is open.
What is it like to date? This is a great question.
Just terrible, I don't know.
I'm triggered.
I haven't dated for probably like 9 years now, but dating apps were a part of my life at one point, as I think is like the natural way to date these days. That's like what all the kids are doing, right? Are they on the apps? They're on the apps.
Thank goodness for the internet and for dating apps. I live a very busy life. I have not got time to go to a bar and then go through all of that kind of introductory auditioning process. It's fantastic to be able to go on an app and to immediately find out whether somebody's going to have things in common that you appreciate. However, romance and love and sexual attraction is very much often a real world thing.
I mean, on a dating profile bio thing, I never know what to write. I don't know how to market myself, and I feel weird about it. I'm like, what? Also, market myself? Ew. What I like about Instagram dating versus like dating app dating is that I'm usually interested in people who are like displaying their lives.
I'm old. I'm gonna be 37 next year, so there's a lot of age gap problems that I run into. For a long time, I've been dating people that were like 10 to 12 years younger than me, and it's cool because they're hot, but not cool because they don't have like a person inside of them yet. So I'm trying to date people that are age appropriate, but there's less of us, it feels like. People have settled down, and some part of me is like, you're 36 and you're not like with someone? Like, what's wrong with you?
It might be harder to find love now than it was when I was in my 20s, but if that's the case, it's just because my standards have risen, as they should. I had been married when the apps came out, and so I was always sort of jealous of my friends that were like, got to complain about the apps, because everyone just complains about it. The apps are so horrible. But I'm like, it looks fun. You know, before my divorce, me and the person I was with, we opened up our relationship, and then I got to go on the apps. I guess if I was looking for like a life partner, I see why people are stressed out about it. But I wasn't looking for a life partner. I was just looking to have fun, and have fun I did. But then, you know, I met somebody, and then it became not casual, and now I'm off the market, more or less. I don't know. There might be some wiggle room. It's hard to say.
Particularly, I think, as a non-binary person, but even just broadly thinking as a queer person, our community is still caught up in, you know, the no fats, no femmes, the no Asian, no rice, no spice, whatever foolishness these cis men come up with that the rest of us are forced to deal with. It doesn't serve any of us. It doesn't service any of us. And so I think it's difficult dating. Especially because we have so many of our queer spaces disappearing. So like the idea of meeting people in person becomes more and more difficult. And then you introduce the online dating of it all, which, my God, it's just a cesspool sometimes of people's prejudices masked as preferences, and people not realizing the ways in which they're anti-Black or racist or otherwise problematic. And so for me, dating is something that I dread.
What is it like dating in a body like mine? A 40-something-year-old person who visually appears to be a cisgendered woman, but who's had a lived experience that's far more non-binary. A woman who's big, tall, who has the experience of being an immigrant from a country that in the US people view as you must be a terrorist. How does someone like that date? It's complicated. I don't think a picture of me on a dating app can fully encompass who I am. And at the same time, anytime I've been more open and transparent about my layered existence on a dating app, it attracts a lot of people who think I can be their fetish. And I struggle with that. And that's probably why I spend years being single.
Dating as a Black, fat, queer person is either people being afraid of who you are and being like, they want you to limit or dim your light. It's either people who are fetishizing your body in ways that you don't think you deserve or want. I've had to learn that someone's approval of me is not based on my worth. Like, I can want to be found attractive just like any human because that's a human quality. But I can't base all of that based off of like if I'm getting hit up on Grindr for just a sexual thing and not being taken out on a date because they want to get to know who I am in my mind and all of this lusciousness, you know? And guess what? There's nothing wrong for a one night stand, honey. We can have that moment, but I'm also wanting more than that. And I think if we can have serious conversations about, you know, fat phobia, anti-Blackness, and how sometimes our community, even with how marginalized that it is, exists in systems of white supremacy, then honey, we would probably be in a better place and I would have a more positive response about being a Black, fat, queer person dating.
It's hard in an Instagram world where everyone is preoccupied by these very shiny images to find people who are trying to connect. I'm just as bad as everybody else going on like sex apps and just judging people by their stats and their photos, going on the relationship apps and just judging people by their photos and stats. I don't have a good answer. I'm single. I think I just try to be the most honest version of myself and hope that when the right person sees that, they'll be excited by it.
I feel like dating is so much more expansive. You know, sometimes I read the writings of trans folks in the past, and there is such acute loneliness and isolation, like truly unimaginable. Like there is no person in the world who will love me for who I am. We have so much to be grateful for that we're able to move around and to find each other. And it was one generation ago that seemed insurmountable.
I think finding love is about ultimately finding yourself, loving on yourself, welcoming what love looks like from your own actions and your own mind first and foremost. And then that opens you up to be able to recognize it when it's coming from other people and to realize that you don't need somebody else to affirm you, right? You can do your own affirmation and be rooted and secure in that, because then when you are secure in yourself, when you are going out on these dates, right, when you are meeting these people, you're not beholden to whether or not they are responding to you in the way you want them to respond. It's like, no, I'm a bad bitch. You're lucky to be on this date with me. If you don't see it for yourself being entered and welcomed into my world, that's your loss, all right? Because I know what I'm working with over here, honey, okay? And you should be so lucky.
Gay, 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 gay. Gay, 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 gay.